The second half of the 18th century was an age when nature itself was being put into classical order by landscape gardeners like William Kent here at Rousham in Oxfordshire, and a host of grammarians, led by Robert Louth, wanted to do the same to the English language. From now on, things were different from, but certainly not different to, the old individual freedoms. In some ways, they added clarity. In other ways, they created pedantry. Between you and I was outlawed. Between you and me was now the only way. Comparatives were to be used with a pair of objects and superlatives with more. The better of two, but the best of three. Incomparables like perfect, unique or round weren't to be qualified, so you should no longer be more unique or less perfect. Lie and lay were distinguished from each other, as were will and shall. Perhaps surprisingly, Louth recognised that a preposition was permissible to end a sentence with, though avoiding it was more elegant. That where two ways of using language existed, one must be wrong. They carved a single path through the thickets of English grammar, and they began to turn their attention to vocabulary. There were attempts to ban popular words and phrases, words such as fib, banter, bigot, fop, flippant, flimsy, workmanship, self-same, despoil, nowadays, furthermore, wherewithal, subject matter, drive a bargain, handle a subject and boast an argument. All of them had to be wiped out. Hating English words and phrases isn't as common as liking them, but the flying squads of opposition are always with us, and sometimes let it be welcomed. Today, some people object to what they see as the misuse of hopefully, as I do, instead of I hope, to the way decimate is losing its meaning of to reduce by a tenth, or the use of ahead of instead of before. There's a sense in which they can't fail and they can't succeed either, because English will find its own words. The language itself, through usage and natural selection, will see what is survivable and what will not survive. The 18th century was a paradise for the terrible twins, class and snobbery, and in they came, pat on cue. The new rules and regulations were immensely influential, not for the upper classes, who felt no need to change the way they used English, or for the lower classes, who had little incentive. But the growing middle class, or the growing number of people who wanted to be middle class, regarded knowledge of the rules as the key to joining polite society, a badge of entry to the club. One typical example was William Cobbett, who became famous as the author of Rural Rides. He was a lower middle class boy who took a copy of Louth's grammar and taught himself the rules. And he put his reasons bluntly. Without understanding grammar, he wrote, you can never hope to become fit for anything beyond mere trade or agriculture. It's impossible for you to write correctly, and it is by mere accident that you speak correctly. And pray bear in mind that all well-informed persons judge of a man's mind until they have other means of judging by his writing or speaking. Writing or speaking. The word police were also turning their attention to the spoken word.